30.
Well, we live, y'all.
Let's get it. We live. We live.
We live now.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
live
sir.
now.
We live now. Welcome.
Welcome.
Ah,
Oh, it's the collab show today.
Welcome. Hi, how you doing? I'm happy to have each and every one of you guys on. I'm Tanisha Steiger. I'm one of the co-hosts for Mommies and Money. I am definitely excited for tonight's conversation. Who just muted me?
Yeah, you want to mute?
I was trying to let somebody in and muted you by mistake. That was my
wow.
Yeah, that's why we don't let you do anything technical.
Always starting off right.
I was letting somebody in.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
That's what you
messed
do
up.
to your granddaughter.
Right off, right.
Listen, I was trying to let somebody in. It was not.
We believe you. We believe you. We believe you. We believe you.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Terrible.
I was just gonna say, you know what? I'm Tanisha. Let everybody else introduce who they are. Isaac over here want to mute everyone, so I'm just gonna. I'll stay in my lane then.
Fathers and Finance.
My name is Patrick Graves, or you call me Black Tie Graves, and I'm on Fathers and Finance as well.
I am Isaac Crumbly, also on Fathers and Finance, soon to be a grandfather, so you can call me Papa.
And I am Trevor Evans, also on Father and Finance. You can call me Trevor Evans.
And I am Laura Whedon, and I am on Mommies and Money.
And welcome to the show for tonight. So tonight we're talking about the Black family and speaking about full transparency. That probably means a lot of different things. We're gonna try to narrow it down to a couple different topics for us to be able to discuss. I know that myself, I don't have children just yet, but I do know that when I have them, the conversation about financial education would definitely be a part of the curriculum in this household. I don't know how everybody else feels, but Trevor got grown children, Isaac got a grandbaby and stuff on the way. So I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I would love to hear some opinions.
Opinions?
Most definitely. I would say because I have actually Marcus his baby girl might be a little bit younger than mine, maybe by a few months, but most definitely teaching her all the things that I'm learning right now. She's learning her 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and learning about the IUL in the process. So for me, yes, I'm putting it in the curriculum as far as she learns her history, as she learns her mathematics, her reading, she's going to learn about how to manage her money as she gets it, because who knows, she may be in a position to say she want to make money at a young age. You never know. I've seen 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds become millionaires because they have an idea, and they only take one idea. How about you, Marcus?
Yeah, man, the same. It's definitely my two, MJ and Charlie. Yeah, they definitely it will be a part of their learning. As they grow in education and get higher in their grade levels. Pat, when is Eva's birthday?
October 23rd.
Okay, yeah, Charlie, July. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Charlie's older. She's older. Okay.
Yeah. I was just saying Charlie got it, brother. But it's definitely a part of the curriculum outside of what they're learning in school, when that starts. But definitely.
Well, that's very, very, very good. So, Mr. Isaac, I know we have 3 major topics we're going to go over this evening that I want to definitely get the ladies to show their or shed their opinion on, as Keisha would say. Would you happen to know, sir, because I sure don't, what the first topic is?
Oh man, you be killing me, Trevor. You be killing me, brother. You be killing me.
Even though it was text to us in Bussington, right?
First of all, before we get started, I thought that I was gonna be the smoothest one on here today with my cream, my teal and my tan on. But man, I'm telling you, that cream and pink, that salmon or whatever it is that you got on right there, brother, that's looking smooth, brother Trevor. So
thank you very much, sir.
I got to get out up to you. You're looking dapper right there. So
thank you, sir. You as well.
The first topic.
Hey, Isaac, before you go ahead and get started, Trevor looked like a salamander over there. before we even get started. It's a nice one from Florida, but
Hey, look, but hey man, look, that's smooth, man. I don't know what you're talking about. He rocking it.
color.
He look like new money.
Hey, look, when I go to Florida, I'm supporting his black business. I'm getting me a suit just like that.
Come on down, sir. Come on down.
We just got to make sure we don't rock it on the same day on Fathers and Finances. That's the only thing
Come
we got
on
to
down.
do. All
That'd
right,
be
so
kind of cute if you guys did though. Just Mary Kate, Ashley Olsen, Tia and Tamara.
We're not gonna wear the same suit at the same time.
I know, right?
We don't mind having the same suit. We just ain't gonna wear it at the same.
Say no rap group.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the first topic, of course, about building this transparency is that Lord, this is where I'm wanting to control Trevor, because he's gonna get all geeked up on this, and I know it. But it's choosing the right person to be transparent with. So that's the first part of this, because being transparent, if you're not on the same page, then it's a problem. I mean, and if you're not choosing correctly, as Belle Biv DeVoe goes, you can't trust a big button to smile. If that's your only criteria, then that's a problem for you. So, Laura, let me ask you, what are some questions that a woman should ask when trying to choose the right person?
Ambition, goals, like what is it that you are trying to obtain and what are you trying to reach? And I mean, if they're a family-oriented person, if they're willing to communicate, me, I'm always big on the communication. I'm always gonna come with the communication first because I am a communicator. Like I want us to be on the same page. And so definitely I would have to say communication. What are your ambitions and goals? What are you doing to reach those goals? And are you willing to communicate those things with me as we grow together?
Okay. So I mean that's real high level. Now what are we going to ask directly? So for instance, you going out with a gentleman and assuming this is single days.
Oh, if you die tomorrow, can you pay for your funeral?
Okay.
Ooh.
There we go. You just talking about the bare basics.
Just saying, that is a bare basic. It should be like life insurance is a basic. You should be able to have that and be like, you know what, that's gonna be taken care of. That's not an issue. That's not a problem.
That's the first date question.
I mean, it's going to always be a first date question. Yes.
I mean, we want this thing to be fun, though, right? I mean, okay, so
I'm asking. I'm gonna be funny about it, but I really want to know the actual answer. So.
Right.
What if the answer?
I mean, is that?
What if the answer is no?
Right.
Or not
That
yet?
sucks.
Or what was this answer? Well, what had happened was what was that kind of answer?
Well, what's going to happen is either you're going to get some or you ain't going to get none.
Well.
Way to be direct there, girl.
Okay, now, the topic is the topic is transparency, right?
Gotta make them get something the next day.
So what? As far as transparency goes, I'm with Laura when it comes to communication, but on top of communication, I need comprehension, because I can communicate all day long with somebody. If she can't comprehend what I'm trying to put down, or she ain't picking up what I'm putting down, it don't matter about what I'm saying. I can be screaming at her, but I'm still screaming at a wall if it's not comprehension as well. So I love the communication, but I need comprehension as well. So and understanding.
Now, everybody be real. We all know that wasn't the talk that we was having when we were dating. Okay.
Right.
Now, how many of us on this panel, okay, can honestly say that was even a thought in our minds when we were dating? It wasn't one of mine.
Definitely wasn't mine. Definitely wasn't.
Okay, so how can we make this a thought in a young one's mind as far as turning our dates into a damn job interview,
So Trevor, now you and I both know now. So men, we kind of funny about certain things. We don't want to be on a job interview on the first date. We certainly want to make sure that we getting to know each other on a regular level. But there should be some basic questions that we should be willing to have asked of us on a first date before we know whether we want to go forward. Now, a lot of times people, like, so you've heard, all right, so hey, how you doing? Da, da, da. So where do you work? How much money you make? What's your credit score? Like, you digging right into that. And then if you get satisfactory answers to all of those questions, then the woman is interested in opening up to you after she asks those type of questions, and dudes immediately turn off. So there's got to be some type of happy medium where dudes aren't turned off by boom, 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 boom. Okay, now I want to talk to you because now I know. Guys don't simply go, hey, do you go to the gym? Is that your real hair? How many
Yes,
times
they do.
if we get married, how many times you gonna put out? You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least I wouldn't ask no questions like that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Lord.
But you're also
dude-
you're also born in different
Dude,
decades.
ask you in the
Just
gym,
right
is
now.
that your real hair?
You're born in a
I
different
get
decade.
asked all the time if this is my real hair, man or not. And these are people that I don't know, strangers that I just come into contact with. Is
That's
that
because
your
your
hair?
skin color, girl. That's because your skin color. That's why they asked you that.
Don't do the brown paper test on her. That's not fair. We're not
I'm just keeping
that
it
right
real.
now.
I'm just keeping it real. That's why they ask her. That's why they ask her.
I get asked.
You
all
know
the
damn
time.
well it's you black as Patrick don't ask that question.
All right.
I'm just saying, I understand where Patrick's coming from. And as a first date, like I've dealt with death a lot. So I've seen what it could do to Black families, and I've seen it firsthand. So I feel like if I want to be able to build with you and I want to have a family with you, I want to make sure that, like, one, that I know I got me and you got yourself. So if we decide to bring something into
you
this
know what?
world.
To piggyback with you, Tanisha, though, because you just said I experienced death. So that is a priority in your life. And what tends to be our priorities basically comes forth in the things that we value, that we question.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it depends on what it is that you're going through in your life at that time. Like Trevor said, a lot of people, when they date, they ain't thinking about that kind of stuff.
Right.
They thinking about getting to the bedroom or whatever that may be, just the surface things. And like you said, how do we, start thinking about what's important?
Not whose job should it be, but who would be more appropriate to ask those questions, the female or the male?
I think whoever is knowledgeable about whatever, because a lot of times you meet somebody new and they may not know nothing about life insurance. They never was taught that. I meet people all the time, they don't know about it. I was one of those people that didn't know about it. You might say something to me about it. I say, hey, I think I had some life insurance in the military or something like that, but I didn't have any type of comprehension. And then it probably turned me off at that point. So I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I'm gonna be serious with you like that for you to be knowing all of that stuff. So for me, I would say if that is something that's on your mind and you just now started talking to this person, I think you probably would get the vibe that he has something like that. And then you cannot, it don't have to be like no questionnaire, like you sitting down with him. It could be like, hey, I got this just in case, maybe a conversation come up and I say, hey, I got an IUL or a life insurance policy because I was taught this at this time. Do you have one? Or blah, blah, blah. Do you know why I got it? And introduce it that way. Because a lot of times when you're talking to somebody, if you say, hey, do you got this? First of all, first thing is somebody like, all right, hold on. They backing up because they get into defense. You might not even be on no offense, but people get offended very easily if they don't know and they don't have. So it's like,
at that point, though, I think it's definitely important to know who it is that you're talking to. Like, you have discernment. Most people, I would say, should have some type of level of discernment, right?
There we go.
I mean,
I like that.
You have to feel out that type of person, know who it is that you're talking to and how to communicate to them.
And chances are that person probably won't have a lot or anything in the works right now. So a better question may be, I'm not saying you have these things or you have to have them. However, can you articulate to me what your plans are as far as, your finances, okay? Are you looking at investments? Are you looking at certain type of vehicles to create that? Because especially if you're young, if you're in your 20s, chances are those things aren't going to be acquired yet from a young person unless their parents just force it upon them. So it may not be a question of what you have, that's going to be on the table. A better question may be, what are your plans? What are your plans for your future financially? Okay, that will sustain a family. All right, if not ours, one of your own. So instead of asking the person what they're doing, okay, what they have, a better question may be, what are your plans?
Trevor, I want to, so Laura said something important to me, and that's discernment. And so a lot of times when we start hollering at people or talking to people, it's just the random luck of the draw. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like, I mean, obviously I've been married for a minute, but if I was single, I'd be like, I wouldn't just come up to her, even if she looked good, I would try to learn a little bit more about her, because you don't want to waste any time on somebody. You want to, like Laura said, you need some sort of discernment. You want to see how she behaves, how she acts, how she carries herself. Because if she acts a certain way, then, not to judge a book by a cover, but she may not have that, what you're looking for, and that could be not just on finances, that could be on the other aspects of her life. If she's cussing people out on the regular, that's coming back to you. You know what I'm saying?
So ladies, would you approach a brother based on how he looks and thinking that, okay, he may have some things in play already, okay, or just off of looks alone, off of vibe alone, all right, and then get into that conversation? Or are you looking for a dude that says, you know what, he may be someone that is on that level, he may be someone that already has that, or are you going to hope that he does because he look good?
Okay, so this might sound vain, and I almost don't want to say it. I don't approach guys. I don't approach people.
Okay, understood. That's fair.
I don't approach. I mean, it's kind of difficult for me to answer that question because I've never been in that position. But I guess if I did, I don't know. Women, I would say they look for certain things when they're on the prowl. Women look for the guy who's fresh, who's clean, who got certain things. So I really don't know. I mean,
so Laura, flip it up.
A lot of women are physical like men too. Let's get real, okay? Women look for the guy who looks good, who carries himself well, who may look like he has money. So you approach the conversation, and I guess in a sense, you would hope that person is coming with something. But a lot of people have masks, and then eventually those things are revealed. So
Laura, as the prey, then, since you're not the hunter, as the prey, how do you want the people that's hunting you? How do you want them to approach you since you're the prey?
Well, I would. I mean, definitely go beyond just, I don't know, superficial things.
Hey guys, we got Sean on the call, and Sean has a question. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, peace, family. I was just I just wanted to add on to what y'all saying as far as the male and female dynamic. Male and females, our minds are totally different. We think completely different. And the approach for a man to a woman to a man is totally opposite. Yeah, men are more physical attracted. Women, yes, they are physically attracted to a man, but there's certain characteristics she's going to look into, as far as your shoes, your nails, your personality, character.
We going deep with it.
And just on our side, we shouldn't even waste our time as men. We should actually see ourselves as a prize as well. So if you approach a woman and she could look bad, but if there's no commonality involved, you're asking open-ended questions. And if she's not on your wave or energy level, then there's even no reason to pursue a conversation in finance or anything else. It's like,
come on. It's a perfect point.
Cut it right off.
As Laura says, I don't approach men, okay? I don't approach men. Now, I ain't gonna put words in their mouth, okay? But I'm probably gonna say, if the man looked the part that appealed to Laura, okay, I think she may approach, say, you know what? He got some nice shoes on. He got the nails is all done. He looks put together. Okay. Now to her, that may not be her approaching the man, but it may be her approaching the man based on how the man is looking and the man himself. So how the man is dressed and presents himself is what's being approached, not so much the man himself. Would that be fair, Laura?
Yes.
And then you got
the woman will make themselves more available.
And then
available, like, come talk to me.
I was about to say that. You got to pay attention to the subtleties.
Yes, the body language. I may approach you, but my body language may be, okay, come talk to me.
It could even just be a glance, and she just cast the eyes away. You know what I mean? If you don't pick up on the subtleties, then
no, you approach the labels, then shoot. Go ahead, Tanisha.
You got to contain them. You just try to contain them.
I approached how the man is labeled.
No, but I did have to agree with the fingernail and the shoes thing though. My mom always told me that, like, you have to sit there and look how they clean their nails and how their shoes look. But also how what helps me decipher was how they treat their family, like how they treat their mom and how they treat their father, or how they speak about their father. That actually is a big factor for me. So if you have like any type of issues, like mommy daddy issues, I'll pretty much figure it out off that. We won't even go into the discussion of building together, because you have a lot of healing that you need to do for yourself.
Isaac, what's topic number 2, just for curiosity?
Topic number 2.
Because he don't remember, because he don't know.
I know.
I know. Right in front of him. Got it right in front of him.
It's in front of him? All right, so topic number 2 is, once you choose that spouse or that how to build. Well, put it to you this way, because I want to kind of rephrase the question. So you have to have that plan for yourself. That's that initial plan. And I think we skipped from 2 to 1, didn't we? I think you're supposed to have an initial plan for yourself and then choose that mate. So did I skip over? So that's my fault. I'm as bad as Trevor today, so I apologize, team. I apologize. I skipped over number 1, and y'all let me. So y'all equally as bad because y'all let me. So there.
You were just rolling with it.
Oh, okay.
Y'all were just rolling with it. So look, you got to have a plan for yourself. That's the first thing. So the first thing is, and us developing a plan. You know, Trevor said something in the production meeting that I found very key, and that I feel like plagues us as Black people. You know, Trevor has made a good deal of money, and he went seeking how to improve his life. But as he said, he looked up upon the knowledge that he had. Like, it wasn't, he didn't even know to go seek that knowledge. He just was in the right place at the right time, and the knowledge found him. So I feel with us, a lot of times we're in that situation. Unless it finds us, it misses us. So we, in our group, we have to be more diligent about teaching people about how to have a financial plan. That's why last week, you know, when we were talking about something else, I wanted to sneak on and bring on the wealth formula. Because I found about the wealth formula at age 49. I'm 51 today. I didn't know a damn thing about the wealth formula. So the more people can learn about these types of things, you know, the better it is. But anyway, you still have got to find a way to have a plan. So in other words, when you get out if you're in college, what do you want to do when you get out of college? Are you planning for children? Are you planning for retirement? Are you having the basics, like Tanisha said, if you get stopped by the police and get shot, can we bury you without having to have a GoFundMe account? You know what I'm saying? These basic types of things. So that needs to be the basic level. But I guess number 1, I guess the most important thing is, do we have a curiosity?
I think Isaac,
about how to increase our wealth.
I think Isaac, and I'm pretty sure this is how all of us are. I think we approach people, you know, the opposite sex, based on what our plans are at that time. Okay, because how many men, you know, want a woman that seems out of their league, okay, and vice versa. All right. To me, that tells me that, okay, you want someone that is already at a place that you're trying to get to, but not quite there yet.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so when we seek out our partners, especially at a young age, it's probably at any age, I think it's our seeking out of a partner depends on where we are in life at that time. If we're like, almost at the bottom, chances are our partner is going to probably be there too. Okay, unless you just got mad confidence and say, you know what, I want her, or I want this guy. But for the most part, I do think people seek out partners, opposite sex partners, based on their current level of life or plan that they have. And
I disagree with that about women.
Really?
I think women typically tend to go, I mean, hell, what's his name? Kevin Samuels is making a killing right now based off of talking to women about they're at 1 degree and they're looking for a man that's up here.
That's true.
They're looking for a man up here and they consider themselves down here. And the only gift that they so-called are offering themselves, Edward talk about how did he know that was coming up?
That's Isaac's favorite guy.
So literally that he's making a living doing that type of stuff. And so, I disagree as far as that's concerned. Now, men though, I feel like men, at least for my generation, I know that I feel like when we were the main pursuers, I mean, we used to just pursue and try to talk to everything. I mean, and I knew I tried to talk to girls way out of my league, but I was just like, yo, I'm going, if you don't try, you definitely gonna fail. I may fail trying, but if I don't try, I'm definitely gonna fail. Now, and brother Sean may find this funny, but I joined the nation, Brother Sean, in 1990. And the very first, I didn't know nothing about Sister Minister Ava Muhammad. But Brother Sean, literally the first time I heard her, I was like, yo, I'm gonna be her husband. Now, I didn't know nothing about Sister Minister Ava. I just joined Islam. I'm talking about I hadn't even processed. I didn't know jack about Islam. I just literally had my first Quran and I was like, yo, I gotta go find Sister Minister Ava because she's so dope. She's so bad. She has to be my wife. I found out she was married later, but that was my mindset. I was just like, yo, she's the baddest thing in the Nation of Islam. I have to go find her. So that literally shows how, in my opinion, old school, like me and Trevor, we old school. So Trevor, I know you probably, you see a bad woman, you don't have any hesitation. You wouldn't have any hesitation trying to talk to her. But I don't think dudes are built like that today. I mean, I think it's kind of reversed, to be honest with you. I think women go, here's a dude that makes the type of money that I want, and I'm going after.
Well, society is reversed, period. Dealing with that. So, I mean, especially our women, they outnumber us. So there's a small pool of resources that they're pulling from where they would have to be out of their, I would say, acting out of their nature more aggressively than and us being the pursuers are, But for myself personally, I've always been, I never just chased after anything. I've always been you could say segmented to the type of women that I like for my standards, the type of, skin complexion, and just about what they were about. And I always seemed to attract to women that were actually more ambitious or on another level than me, and just women that made me feel uncomfortable and nervous. I found like I got more respect trying to talk to one of those than just being flattery to someone that I wasn't really attracted to, because they could see the energy that you really like them, you're really into them, you're really noticing things about them. So,
Brother Sean, let me ask you this. You said something key. You said that women are acting out of their nature because of the lack of the limited pool
selection.
So you feel like that's the primary cause for well, I feel that as well, but if you would elaborate on that, because I don't know that a lot of people, I mean, to me, I think a lot of people think that's
let's take Atlanta for an example. The men out in Atlanta, and the ratio compared to men and women in Atlanta. What's going on in Atlanta?
I think it's 15. It's 15-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Crazy.
So
17-1.
And then the ones that and then you already know the situation out there. So women have
go and say it. They fighting 2 battles down here in Atlanta.
You ain't lying, Trevor.
They fight two people in Atlanta, boy.
It's hard out here, ain't it?
That's right.
It's hard, baby. It's hard.
It's hard out here in Atlanta, man.
You see Brother Edward talking about he ain't gonna be single alone with 17-1.
Not at all. Not at all.
And I think with women, they are more specific than us, as far as, as far as them, selecting, their partner or who they even want to give a chance or, try to talk to. The fellas, a lot of us really don't be having too many standards, what I'm saying? Like, as far as specifics, like we really, most of us, a lot of us, I ain't even gonna say most, a lot of us, just want to get to y'all know, you know what I mean? It's like the interact, it's all with the vibe for real that you get from her. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know, it's crazy. But as far as
I have a question, Marcus, not to cut you off. I'm sorry, because you mentioned a standard, right? And it was on my mind as soon as you said it.
Yeah.
And as y'all are talking, I'm just curious as to why men take so long, or it's such a process for y'all to find a mate or get married. Like you say, most men perhaps don't have standards, but y'all will sleep with a whole bunch of women, but won't marry her.
Well, they have to figure out who she is. So once they shake off the wigs, the eyelashes.
Don't ask Marcus this question. Marcus has been married since high school, folks. So we go. Don't ask Marcus.
Get out like that.
Yeah, my boy ain't get out like he was a faithful man. He's a faithful man. He stayed with him. Me, on the other hand, I went and did some adventuring out, and I experienced my way with dating different women, different races, because I was just curious myself, just to be honest. I don't know what curious as far as I don't know some of the stuff you ain't seen. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't know who this person is. I don't know what this person's thinking, whatever the case may be. So in that case, like, to answer your question is, I mean, when you go to a car lot and you go drive a car that you like, don't you test drive it? Don't you test drive different cars to figure out?
Wow.
Boy,
that's crazy. You're right. You about to put yourself in
It's not in a bad way. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying, say you with somebody.
Yeah, you are.
Say you with somebody.
Like that.
Hold on now.
No.
I'm saying this, Patrick, using that as a comparison. What's wrong with that?
I think I can answer Sis's question though. You know, we don't have, I mean, as far as males, we don't have a proper relationship we don't understand the proper relationship with women. Growing up, we never saw women as really valuable besides experimenting or as a plaything. But as you get, from my personal self, same thing with brother. I had a lot of girls in my life, but as I met that one woman that was my helpmate, I achieved more in that 1 year of dedicating myself to a woman that brought out the best qualities in me than the years I wasted just playing around out there.
Do you credit
that's
that
what I'm trying to say, Laura? That's why y'all trying to jump on my head.
Thank you, Sean.
I'm just trying to give you the real. I'm just trying to give you the real. Like,
well, my question after following that is, do you credit, you said you built more in a year due to your being dedicated. So is that something that y'all consider, like dedicate? Like, okay, you see a girl or you're dating multiple women, but you're not dedicated to them. You're not putting in the time or the effort. Like, what makes that person worth being dedicated to?
Okay, same question can be asked to you as well.
Can I answer?
I don't think every person they should
one at a time.
I'm trying to defend myself, but I'm gonna let Trevor. I'm gonna let you spit. But Beyonce had one of the best albums of all time. Hey, I'm gonna let you go. Let me defend myself, because everybody jumped on my head when I said it's like a car.
I'm defending you because
you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying it in a way where I'm disregarding these women. I've met some valuable women, like high class, but they just wasn't for me. Like, I'm just saying, like, I talk to them. We'll be together. It's not even about sex. Like, it just don't be it for me. So I'd be like, all right, before we waste any more time, let's go our separate ways, because we could stay friends, but it wasn't there. Like, I understand that when women get with somebody, they already know, like, they like, oh, I'm set on this. I may get with somebody, and then you know, like 3 days after we started talking, we together. I'm like, I'm not really feeling this girl like that.
Yeah, there's women. There's women. There's women out here playing the field too.
Me.
There's women out here playing the field too.
Right.
Of course.
I don't think here's the thing. I don't think every person jumps into a relationship thinking that, okay, this is the one. Okay. And then when they find out that it ain't the one and go on to the next one, oh, that's wrong. Or that's bad. You know, if you want to find that person, you gotta drive that car, you know, and get that feel. And then when you do find that somebody that, okay, you know what, I can be dedicated to this person because we share X amount of this, that, and the other. But as far as women, I believe they take a dating scene as if, okay, once you start to date, that's it. That's it. You dedicated now. And that ain't right.
And then think about this. Women develop faster than men do, as far as growing their mental space. Where my mind is at the same age when we're 25 is not at the same age, the mental space that a woman's mind is at. I'm not thinking about certain things that you be thinking about, and we still growing. Like at the end of the day, I'm still growing into, I was a better man this year than I was last year. So who I was when I was 25, y'all probably be like, oh, he ain't nothing. He ain't nothing.
Do you guys believe though that when you know, you know?
Yeah,
that's for sure. It
doesn't depend on a certain amount of time, because you know some people are like, oh, I knew. I proposed literally a month later. You know,
I got a good friend. I got a good friend that asked me this question. Young. I guess she's 44 now, but she asked me. She said, "Man, Isaac, man, I cooked this brother's dinner. I took care of him. I held him down." Whatever. And then he was just like, yo, I'm just not feeling it. I tried to be everything for him. He met another girl and then they were married 6 months later. She's like, we were together 2 years and he just didn't see any value enough in me. And he's like, I wasn't nagging him. I tried to be everything for him. I catered myself to his needs and he just didn't see me. And I had to just be blunt. I was like, listen, you know, I've been in that situation from the man's point of view. Mm-hmm. When I met Charlene, I was just like, yo, she literally, like, she not only does she check everything off the box as far as what I need spiritually and mentally, it is an absolute feeling like I must have her. I mean, like literally, she completes everything that I need and I have to have her. And for whatever reason, he just didn't have that feeling with her. And that ain't, and you know, it's not strange to you ladies, because I definitely hear you ladies go, oh, he's nice, but, you know, and boom, he's not the one. You know, he does a lot of the things that you like, but at the same time, if you know, he's just not the one for you.
You got a lot of red flags.
The bottom line is this: whether or not you're a serial dater or not, you know, we do have to start talking early in relationships about our finances, because one day, you know, whether you plan it or not, kids may come from that relationship. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. And you want to know that, okay, at least this person got her head on straight, or his head on straight, to where our child can be taught the finances that needs to be taught to be a good person in life. Because, you know, whether or not you're going to be together or be apart, if there are going to be kids involved, you know, it'll probably be a better thing if you have a union with someone that is on the level of, okay, my life is about this, that, and the other, because it has to start somewhere, because there's too many kids and young people these days that have zero knowledge of how their life should be financially, outside of just their wants, you know. And I'm 46, you know, Isaac is what, barely turning 50, okay, barely, right? And, you know, kids need to hear this message from age 16 and up, at least.
Prior to that, I mean, look at Letha's daughter. Look at Victoria.
Yes, a prime example. Yes.
Victoria, I think, is 10. Yep. I mean, but you know,
I believe so.
You talk to Victoria, man. I mean, literally, if you take away her voice, like if you gave her an adult voice, that's a grown woman. Like literally, if you took away that child voice, you have a conversation with her. that's a grown woman. I mean, that's the quality of education that like literally, Delita talks about how Victoria will give her advice about her business.
Yep.
That's somebody that has been raised properly and understands financial education, understands business. When she gets out into the world, Victoria is already head and shoulders above everybody else. Not because necessarily that she's smarter than everybody, but because she's been given a certain type of education that every child should be given. And you got to have a wife, like literally, I know not to put Delita's business out there, but you know, she's a single mom. That brother needs to thank Delita 1,000,000 times over. Seriously, because his seed is being well taken care of. And his seed is you know, is going to be a tremendous benefit to society. All due because he made a good choice in Delita. So you got to make sure, like you said, if a child comes from that union, you got to make sure that you've made at least a good choice. And you know, I don't know how intelligent he was, but he definitely made a good choice. I don't know if it was just luck or whatever, but he certainly made an excellent choice in choosing who the mother of his child would be. So, you know, it is what it is. And
you know what it was, right?
What's that?
What sperm had, right? Glasses.
Oh, bro.
No, it's Delita's egg had the glasses in this case, in my opinion. I don't know, brother. So I got to verify. I got to lean on the side of Delita as far as that's concerned. But in all seriousness, though, man, we got so look, let's be disciplined here, because I'm about to get extra here. So let's go on. Don't start with that Steve Harvey stuff today. All right. So just for the people that don't know, Tanisha calls me the Steve Harvey of the group because she says I have a story for every situation.
Every damn thing.
You do.
Everything.
So he's
like that person you call, you're like, hey, you know, I'm going through such and such, such and such. He's like, you know what? No, one time I know a friend named Bobby in Fort Valley. Like you're like, wait, what? Like I wasn't ready for that.
Hey, don't you talk to my daughter or my son because they would join in. And
it's okay. It's okay. That's a good thing because you do need storytellers. I mean, that's a good thing.
So once we find that mate, okay,
how do we maintain? That's the next one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Maintain it.
All right. So listen, one thing that's real difficult to, I guess, to even quantify. I didn't listen. So with my wife, I knew that she's checked off certain things, but as time grows and as we grow, you don't really know what you need when a trial comes or if certain things change. So you really have got to really be focused on the foundation of that person in the very beginning. You know, in all honesty, I really feel like I lucked up with Charlene because as things have changed and like if I got laid off or whatever, you know, she didn't. I know guys that have gotten laid off and their wives have looked at them like they were dirt. Charlene, if I've gotten laid off in the past, Charlene has like lifted me up and was like, I got you, get your butt back out there. I got you this whole time while things are rolling. So you don't really know that until you choose, until you get to that point. Like you don't know what you don't know. But at the same time, you got to be kind of focused on being willing, as Laura says, to have open, transparent communication. So as your needs change and you get more information. So example, Charlene didn't know about the IUL at the same time that I did. She didn't understand it. So I sat down, I was trying to explain it to her and, you know, she got on wife goggles. You know, wife goggles means I'm automatically blocking what my husband says to somebody else can come in and verify. So I got Delita to come in. And automatically, when Delita said the exact same things that I said, it became very clear. It was just as clear as need be. But she was willing to listen. She didn't completely discount it. She's like, well, OC, I don't understand what it is you're saying, but you know, I'm going with you. I want you to do it. And but I want better understanding. But I wouldn't proceed until she understood. So you got to have a wife or a husband, whichever one you are, that's willing to do those things with you.
It's a matter of, in a marriage, it's a matter of trusting first and then verifying. Okay? Right. because where most things go wrong is that, okay, I'm the husband, I run this, and you're the wife, you run that, and you got to trust it and all, and no verification is done. But because when you are being verified with what you bring to the table, it makes you bring better things to the table. Okay, it makes you be aware of that word. It makes you more discerned of what you're bringing to the table, because you know your spouse will say, okay, I'm gonna trust what you're bringing to the family, but rest assured I'm gonna verify it. Okay,
right.
And if you ain't, if that verification goes wrong, chances are that I'm gonna veto this move. So it ain't the fact that Charlene doesn't trust what he's doing. She does, because he brought it into the house.
She does.
She won't verify, right?
She just wanted understanding.
Yeah.
She, like, literally, if I said I'm moving forward with it, Charlene was like, all right, baby, I got you. But I didn't want to, as a husband, you don't ever want to just move forward and your wife don't understand what's going on.
No.
So I was just like, yo, we got to get some help. But if I had said, let's roll with it, she would have got, I got you. I'm gonna roll with it if you feel it's going to be beneficial for us.
Right.
That's good though.
Maintaining it is a lot of I don't want to say push and pull, but a lot of covering going on.
Checks and balances.
In the relationship, it's sometimes the husband's gonna lead, sometimes the wife's gonna lead, and it has to be that balance, okay? And that trust has to be there. But also, I do believe that every year there has to be an audit on the family and the family's goals and the family journey. Okay, here's what we did last year. Here's what we did last 2 years. Now, what's on the table for next year? Okay, what's our goals now? Where are we at with this? Where are we at with that? So there has to be constant inventory of the family goals and journey going on. Because if you skip a year or two, before you know it, you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And Trevor, my wife, brother, she was so far ahead of me on this. So my wife used to have these, we used to get these, she's an accountant, both of us are accountants, but she stayed in accounting longer than I did. Man, she would have these spreadsheets of our finances that would go for 2 years. And I used to be like, I just want to know what's going on next week. I'm not worried about 2 years. But she literally would have it, and she would go, oh, see, so if we do this, that, and the other. Now, mind you, we didn't have proper education. We just knew financial education. We just knew what we knew at the time. And even though that was going to be a slow trek, my wife was like, well, what I know, this is where we'll be in 2 years. And I was literally not trying to hear it. I was just like, oh my God, what do I need to pay next week? What do you need next week for me to pay bills? That's all I was concerned about. But of course, like Patrick said, women are far more mature than us, and this is like when we were in our 30s. And I was like, sweetie, I don't care. What do I need to pay? I don't care about what's going on 2 years from now. I literally need to pay what's going on right now. But she was way ahead of me than that. So you're right. She was the leader as far as that aspect was concerned, bro. She was way more mature. And it took some tragedies and some other things to go like, you know what, maybe my wife, maybe she knew what she was talking about when it comes to this planet. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Some tough questions have to be asked in relationships very, very early, because those tough questions can be answered very, very easily as life goes on, especially if you all put together, because it just becomes habit and becomes part of the family flow. And it's very, very easy now to pass that on your children, okay? And now that becomes part of their family flow. So it's having these talks or having this talk is very important to have, even if you are dating, because it needs to become part of your fabric of who you are. Because if you don't have these talks, you're gonna have them one way or another, okay? Either a good outcome or a bad outcome. So just having them and getting comfortable with speaking about it, and you'll be surprised that once that becomes part of your fabric, it does become part of your look and part of your repertoire to attract that person that will be on that same level as you are.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, like, if I sit there and ask the question, if you die tomorrow, can you pay for your funeral? If we to get together, we want to maintain a relationship and we want to build with each other. Like I told you guys a long time ago, they're out here just killing us. At this point in time, does it really matter? Like, it's like we have to have these conversations with our kids very young. So if they're out here just doing whatever they want with their agenda. I want to make sure that my family is just not only just they're secure, but I'll secure my husband's secure, because I'm already going to sit there and be in fear of having them go out and they get pulled over by the cops, or just being stopped by doing whatever it is. You can have an air freshener in your car and get pulled over, and I will never see you again. So we have to start thinking on a bigger basis especially if we bear a child or we have a family together, because now we're not sitting there just thinking about ourselves and just coming up together. Now we have children that are come up in this world, and they may not know the importance of having a plan. They may not know the importance just yet, but having that conversation will let them know, like, okay, at least I know I'm protected. I know I'm protected. Mommy's protected. Daddy's protected. When I get 18 and older, I know exactly what I should be doing, and keep that going instead of having these conversations later or when it's too late.
Somebody need to look this up for me, man. Is there like a marriage, a financial marriage book? Like questions that ask and things that ask, before you get married, as far as the finances go, to make sure your spouse or your significant other is one for you, because that would be a great book, I think, because no one's asking these questions because it was never put into fabric of society. Okay, it was always, hey, you'll figure it out when you get there. Okay, look how that's worked out for us.
Hey, listen, so we brought this up here in the production meeting. What do y'all think about the history? I'm not saying that this is something we need to do. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, but the history of arranged marriages where people with proper financial education who have built wealth have tied families together through marriage of their children.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's cool if it's done in a not a casual sense, but it's like if I know someone or I know a family that's well-to-do and our children are of the same age, okay, I'm not gonna make my kid go over there and play, but me and the family, me and the husband may have a conversation, talk, find some commonality in the family, and maybe start having, a little family get-togethers and whatnot, barbecues and whatnot, in hopes that it may create that thing. But man, that's a boy. That's kind of.
I know some. I've clearly, as a Muslim, I've known all types of Muslims, and I've known all types of people, and I know some arranged marriages are absolutely horrible. But the overall purpose of it was to create wealth. That was the initial purpose of creating of arranged marriages, was to tie families together, create kingdoms, create wealth, things of that nature. And I don't. I'm with you, man. I wouldn't want my daughter with a jackass. By any stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, if I knew that there's somebody that had the same exact values that I had, that was dedicated to not just creating wealth for himself, but creating a legacy, and that he was educating my daughter the same way, you damn right I'm asking them to go play together and hang out and do all other types of stuff together, because that's just a common sense thing to do. Mm-hmm. And we don't do that type of planning. Now there are other people that do, there are other nationalities that do, and they ask you to, they may say, well, we want you to date within this certain number of families. You can pick 5 or 6 people out of these, out of these guys here, these girls, you can pick 5 or 6 from this family, but that's it. We don't want you going outside of that. And, I know some Asian communities, they do that. They're very serious and strict about that. And that helps, in my opinion, to maintain wealth when the families have the same level of knowledge. Because if Trevor, your daughter has a certain level of knowledge, and then she meets somebody that don't, her trying to educate him about the principles that she's been taught is going to be a problem.
Right. Exactly. And that's where,
I wouldn't say it'd be a problem. That's not.
Listen, so man, listen, if you come from, I'm not saying it has to be a problem, Marcus, but if you come from a family where your value is based off of how many J's you have, mm-hmm. and certain other things, and then you meet somebody that's willing to delay gratification and is not so caught up in labels as they are as in building wealth, that can be a problem. People, And that goes on both sides, male and female. Well, I got to have this purse. Well, listen, sis, I'm trying to buy a house. Well, I need this purse. Well, listen, the house to me is more important than me spending money on, here, let me give you this decent purse. It's not cheap, but it ain't Fendi or whatever the hell it is. Let me get you that. She goes off and complains that my man ain't got me whatever, and vice versa, So the education part of it can be a problem.
Ladies, what do you think?
Well, whoever Isaac was talking about, that's some ungrateful chicks right there. But say, like, that's just what my grandma would say. Like, so you better be grateful for what you get. But I understand where he's coming from. Like, you don't want to sit there. Like, I would want, if I bring home somebody that I want to build with, I want my dad to be like, yeah, I like him. Like, he's gonna be good for you. That would be I want an approval from my parents, right? I couldn't bring home, and I brought home a jackass. So it definitely didn't work out. We're no longer together, but I want to make sure I got my mom and my dad's approval for it, because not only like they're around, dad's going to be like, well, he's smart. He does this, this, and this. So he knows that he's going to be okay. And that, in that sense, I don't want to sit there and marry someone or be with somebody who's not going to be able to you can't elevate me. I got to stay where you are, and I don't want to stay where you are. I want to make sure that we both elevate and we rise together. And that's the difference.
Indeed.
Laura?
I actually, it's an interesting way to kind of look at that, because there are cultures that do, so to speak, have arranged marriages. I would say encourage is a safer way to put it, so that the child doesn't rebel, because, as soon as you put expectations on somebody and say, don't date a such and such, that's when they usually go after that such and such you don't want them to. But I think it's smart. I think it's great, and how you grow up, you kind of tend to find individuals who are like-minded. I know as we get older, and I'm married in my 30s, and your ideals change and who you look at changes. You definitely grow, and so I'm all for it. I would. That's a great idea, but encouraged, not forced, or like, hey, I don't know. I would.
Don't stress it enough, Laura. Encouragement, ladies and gentlemen.
So
encouragement, not entanglement, but encouragement. Okay, I got you.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
Patrick, you got something?
Wow, throw me on the spot. Encouragement. Oh, well, in the production meeting, I thought about it. I actually talked about it. I believe that just looking on the bigger side of things, looking on as a community, is something that, I feel like I'm going to put Eva around other successful people and their kids, because I want them to learn and be around each other, so that their ideas and everything grows in that way. And hopefully she chooses somebody that, I'm cool with the dad already, and we can build something, because for us in this community, I feel like it's a must just to build back that family base. The family base, that's how you build anything else. And that's what I feel like the system has been doing, is tearing down the family block. It's a lot of broken families. So it's a lot of people that, look at marriage and seen it fail so much that they don't even believe that it's real. Like, that's not something that we're supposed to do, because it's always not working out. So like, it's one of those things that we definitely gotta look into. And we do it individually. We do it by, with our own lives, and looking at it for seeing if we see it somewhere else and it works that way, and continue to show that and showcase that, so other people can see it.
That's what I'm going to say. If we at least expose our children to that type of individual or lifestyle or successful environment, it gives them a blueprint of somewhat to look forward to, look at, to say, okay, I've been around this kind of people my entire life, so I know what that looks like. So the choice can be made based on the environment that the child was around, not necessarily that particular family or that particular person, but at least get the environment in the child's eyes and get the knowledge in the child's head, so that when they go out there and start to choose a mate, it's chosen based off of the environment that the parent put them in. Because at the end of the day, you know, our kids are going to do what they want to do. And we as parents, we all we have to do is do our best to just get them around people that are spreading the message of financial intelligence, because they're gonna, the thing is, we don't know who our kids will run into. Okay, I've seen smart men get ran over, okay, by someone that was just not on the same level as them, and vice versa. So just because we do it, it doesn't mean that they'll make that choice, because at the end of the day, it's what that child or what that person desires and makes them feel good.
Brother, it's been so good talking to my daughter. You know, as she's gotten older, she comes, like Tanisha says, she wants to make sure that her parents are approve of them. And so my daughter has been talking to me recently. She meets a guy, she goes, "Hey, listen, Dad, I told him about what I plan on doing financially, what my goals are, what my business dreams are." And if that, like, she doesn't even bring guys to me. Like, she starts talking to him, she talks about what her goals are. And if they aren't aligned, my daughter, she's an Aquarius, by the way. If they aren't aligned, she's just like, whoop, like literally, she shoots that away and she moves on to the next. So she literally
start that.
Cutoff game is quick.
cut her, bruh, straight.
I'm saying though, Trevor, yes.
So she'll go to me, like, so she'll come and say, "Well, Dad, I've been talking to this one guy and blah, 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 blah. He does this. He's interested in this. He's talking about building." Like, she didn't even mention the other things, other stuff.
Yeah.
She mentions the financial part first and what he's willing to build on. Then she mentions the other stuff. So she's like, "Dad, this guy does X, Y, and Z. He works here, or he's got his own business, da, 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 da. And this is why, you know, I feel like I possibly," then I go, "Okay, all right, well, that sounds good." Like, if I don't get, if it's like, I'm kind of questioning about that, she's like, "Oh, well, why you think that, Dad?" And then next thing you know, she may not be talking to him, maybe on move to somebody else. So I'm proud that, you know, that I've been able to instill that in her, or Allah has allowed me to instill that in her. I can't take credit for that, but you know, I'm happy that she's making those types of choices, that she's, you know, at least looking at, boom, hey, this is where I'm trying to be, and this is where he's trying to be, and I think we can be compatible.
Our job as parents is to educate our children to a point where if we die today, okay, our children should be the last people on earth to be worried about, you know, as far as going on and being able to make it, you know. Right. And I think you, sir, have done that yourself. That's a good job.
Well, you as well, man. We just, and congratulations on your daughter and what she just graduated, or is graduating, or just graduated, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, yes. As a matter of fact, when she did, she sent me this video. And I'm gonna show y'all the video too, because I loved it. Y'all let me share.
Come on, proud daddy, show us the video.
This is what she sent me when she did it. It's right here, and it's right there.
Oh, Dad, thank you. You don't even know. I passed my whole capstone. Like, I don't think you know what my capstone is, but it's my senior portfolio that I had to turn in order to prove to them that I'm ready to graduate from the program. I had my presentation today at 11 o'clock, and I passed it. So I'm graduating. July 30th, here we come. LA, here I come. I love you, Dad. You're the best.
That's my baby right there, boy.
Yeah, hey, man, I feel good for you. I'm sticking my chest out for you, brother. I feel it.
So yeah, that's my baby girl, man. So she's happy. She's going to LA this month. You know, I have to go start. I think she moves. In May she moves and comes back to in July for her graduation. So yeah, man, I'm proud as hell.
Yes, sir. Well, man, congratulations, brother.
Congrats,
you know, I certainly feel that, man, 1,000,000%, brother. So congratulations. I'm sticking my chest out with you. And
proud of you.
That's right. That's right. Come on now. You know it, baby. You know this. You know this.
This is why like this, you have you have children. Those are those feelings that no one's ever going to be taken away from you.
Nope.
But your little girl, like the fact, like she was, I love you, Dad. Like I might be 36 years old and I still tell my dad I love him, but
that was up. That was up.
That's a beautiful feeling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is so awesome,
beautiful
man.
Feeling.
Indeed.
And she Black too, so hey.
Oh man, so it looks like we done ran out of time, y'all.
We did.
This is a good one.
I was just about to start arguing again because y'all was agreeing with Isaac when he was talking about Isaac. He's talking about his daughter, and she was like, she bring him up. You gotta shoot him this way because it ain't right. They were like, oh yeah, shoot him that way. But when I talk about me as a man looking at it, it's like, oh, he just bro. It ain't. Don't nobody hate me after being with me. They don't hate me.
I like that.
They cool. We cool. It's not one of those things. Oh, he was a dirt bag. He was crazy. It just wasn't what it was. I'm talking to Laura right now because I like talking to her.
Oh, so he talking to Laura, so I'm gonna
I'm just trying to understand.
Laura, that's between you and Patrick. Y'all can wait till the next collaboration. Y'all can bring up all that heat.
Yeah, get it juicy for the next one. We good.
Okay, yes, I got you, Patrick.
Y'all over here look like juicy crabs, so we good. Everyone out there on the YouTube world, everyone out there, I appreciate every single one of you coming on. Now I am not part of Fathers of Finance. I'm just behind the scenes, but you have Patrick, Trevor, Isaac, Marcus. You got David up in Chicago, always representing for us at the barbershop. And then Miss Me and Laura is on Thursdays for Mommies and Money. So stay tuned for more big things coming. I'm thinking that the next topic we should probably discuss the GoFundMe's that's actually going on right now. So
that's good.
Probably a really good one for all of us to be able to speak about that. So until next time, everyone, you guys could all say goodbye. Go ahead. I love the Aquarius.
Love y'all. Aqua Force.
There you go.
Peace, family.
Pisces is the best.
Right.
No. Y'all still need water to